What's going on, guys? Clifton Denny with On Your Own Outdoors. Hey, so we're back again, gonna try to do another stand review. So actually standing in this spot, what is today? 4 days ago, I pulled this same stand out, pulled the camera out, went to doing my video, jumped a mid 150s, he might go 160s, double main beam buck, and then I got on his trail and I ended up killing that deer. So anyways, today we're gonna go ahead and try to get this stand review done. I'm out of buck tags in Arkansas, so biggest one in the world can jump up now and I can't mess with him. So anyways, all right guys, so what we're gonna do today, we're gonna do the old man climbing tree stand. So little backstory, I think everybody, if you've caught any of my videos before, you'll hear me talk about Lone Wolf all the time. The Lone Wolf hand climber and the Lone Wolf assault are the two climbers that I do prefer to use, and that's what I use pretty exclusively now. I've got a saddle, I don't hardly ever touch the thing, but I've got one, and I've got an API that I keep in my little arsenal as well. But for the most part, I stick with the Lone Wolf. So the stand we're going to talk about today is the stand that I started with. This old man climber is a great stand for a beginner. We'll kind of talk about its pluses and its minuses and that kind of thing. Go ahead and start. So this is the steel. The negative thing about the steel, I think that it claims it weighs 25 pounds. I'll double check that. If it's different, we'll put it on the screen. But I stepped on a scale with it. It's actually about 28.1 once you have everything with it. So this stand is extremely heavy. Would not recommend for toting a long ways. But then again, whenever I started with this stand, I was, I don't know, 22, 23 years old, probably 23 years old, maybe even 24. So I didn't have a problem with it back then, and maybe you won't either. But anyways, let's talk about a plus about it right now before we even get it on the tree. So this is the stand packed up. Plus side is the stand does fold flat. You hear me talk about it all the time. I really like the stands that fold flat. Just having them fold flat, say this was my stand, it was on my back, right? If it's sticking way out here like this, it's gonna be pulling back. If I can keep it up here close, it keeps the weight on my shoulders, makes it easier to pack. The other thing I'm gonna talk about with this stand is the cables. So this is the cable, and if you notice, this cable only has a hook on each side. Most of the other stands, the holes are throughout the cable. The way this old man works is that your holes, your adjustment holes, are actually in the frame of the stand. And when I put it on a tree in a minute, you'll kind of see that. So a couple things I want to talk about before I actually put it on the tree itself. We're going to start with these attachments here. So these attachments are made for the top of the stand. And so basically what they're for is, we talk about that sense of security. So this bar here is just a flat bar. Once you put it on, and we'll put it on while we're on the tree, I'm just kind of explaining what comes in the pack when you pull it out. When you put it on the tree, it just kind of gives you a flat bar here in front, to where this one, if you're going to gun hunt out of it, you can flip it up like that. Or if you wanted to use it as a seat as you're climbing, you can flip it down like that, buckle it into your top, and it gives you something to sit on as you're going up. Or you can leave it open, don't put anything on it, which my original old man I had didn't have the option to take this off. This is basically what the front of it looked like. But you hear that? Pull pins. Stop with the pull pins. Golly. Anyhow, it is what it is. We all know I'm not a fan of pull pins. They make too much noise, as you can tell. This one doesn't make any noise, but it's because it doesn't have any pull pins. But, so before we even put it on the tree, plus side is it packs flat. Negative side is it's heavy. So, it comes with these little black things here. Basically what this is for is you can wrap your shooting rails. I'm going to call those shooting rails for lack of a better term. You can wrap your shooting rails with this, with these, and kind of silence them up a little bit, give you something cushy to rest on. So, you hear that? This thing isn't quiet either. So, it comes with, the plus side about this thing, it comes with everything already on it, right? So, it comes with your backpack strap already on there. One negative thing about that backpack strap is it connects here in the middle, so you're always gonna get that pinch on the back of your neck, where with some of the other stands you can spread them out, and you could do that here too. You could buy you another set after you get these, but anyways, so you've got that there, and then it comes with this strap. We'll go ahead and pop that loose, and what that does is it just keeps your stand put together. So pop that loose, and then we're gonna open this guy up and go ahead and start this little review. All right, so we're gonna start with the top. That's how we do it on all the rest of them, so I don't know why we would change now. First thing, you've got your cables here. They basically go down in the holes. Actually, just a second, guys, let me adjust this for you. All right, so you've got the top here, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your cable, you're gonna make sure your holes are facing up. Start one there, put one on that side. So one thing I'm gonna kind of talk about this stand while we're doing this is back in the day, I let one of my buddies borrow my stand, and he's a bigger guy. He's not a very small guy. And the problem that you have with these old man climbers. So I'm not knocking on the old man climbers, because for what they are, they're great. You hear that? And I'm actually being as quiet as I can with those. They're just, there's no way around these pull pins, man. They're just loud. So anyways, talking about these, my buddy's a bigger boy. And so the issue that he had is whenever you get on a small tree. So if you're on a tree about this size, you can see how big that gap is up front. The way these stands work is the inside kind of collapses. So if you're on a small tree, say you're on one that's about 14 inches across, you can see now how small that is. And if you were a bigger fellow, you're definitely gonna get some bite into your sides. All right, so we'll kind of start this the way we do all the rest of them. I've got the same tree that I always like to use, this little tree over here. So go ahead and pull your cable out of whichever side makes you feel more comfortable. Take your clip off, kind of hook it on your pocket. So with these stands, the cool thing is you can walk inside of them if you take that rail off the front, and it makes setting your stand up a whole lot easier. You don't have to stretch, whatever. Kind of start at that hole right there. So guys, remember, one of the biggest problems that I see new guys with stands have, I talk about this in every video, so you're just gonna have to listen to it for a minute, is the angle of when you get on a tree. Most guys, when they just start climbing with a tree, they don't realize that the smaller the tree gets in diameter as you go up, the more of an angle you need to have on your stand. So for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna stay down low where y'all can watch me, but just understand that, you know, that's even kind of dipping down a little bit. But if I was gonna go all the way up in the top of a tree, this is probably the kind of angle I would want to start out with. That way, as I got up further in the tree, the diameter got smaller, it would come on around. So we've got the top on. What I like to do is I like to move it way up over here, above my head, out of the way, so that I can get my bottom and go from there. I know myself, I wouldn't use a bar on the front, but since we're doing a video, I'm gonna go on ahead and put this little bar up front, just so y'all can kind of see what it looks like with one. Again, stand's got the pull pins. It's most certainly not quiet. All right. So now we've got that bar on there, we're going to talk about the bottom. So the bottom works the same way as top, folds flat, folds out. It's got these little straps here on the feet. And that's what they're saying you use to go up and down the tree with. So, sorry, my old first sergeant just sent me a picture of his truck, and I'm playing on his screen. He's watching my hunting bag drop video. That's cool. I like it. All right. So we've got the left side start. We're gonna go ahead and go to the tree. So we've got the top up out of our way, so we don't have to worry about it. Go ahead and hook the bottom, bring it around. Remembering, guys, that for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna try to keep it as flat as possible, but you would want it up at some sort of angle. All right, so let's talk about a couple things with this stand that I'm already not a huge fan of versus their old style. Just hooking it on the trees. Come on. All right, so number one, I always beat up these pull tabs anyways, but you see this? They have like this extra locking thing on it where you've got to spin it off and put it back on. It's just a real pain. Takes time, makes noise, is what it is. So this is what I wanted to show you guys when we talk about this stand. So you see how much that pinches in? So whenever I tell you guys to make sure that you're paying attention to the stand whenever you buy one, depending on the size trees that you're going to be on, this is why. So if you're a bigger guy, this stand says that you can, the box says that you can hunt out of this stand. You know, it's rated for 300 pounds, I think is what it was. I'll double check it. And maybe durability wise, it'll hold a 300 pound guy. But let me show you something here. So I'm going to get in this stand, and let's just pretend that right now I'm 25 up and the base of this tree's done got small. I'm 195, 200 pounds. This thing's digging in my ribs. So this is what I wanted to talk about with this old man stand. And it's this version, it's the old versions, it's any of them. The smaller tree you get on, the more this is gonna bite in. It's just the way that the top of it works. It collapses in. So if you're a big guy and you're wanting to buy one of these old man stands and you know the area that you're hunting in has got smaller trees, just realize that's not going to be an option for you because of the way this bites in. It's the same thing down here on the bottom. It doesn't leave you with a bunch of room. Now, with that being said, if we were on a big tree, the way that these wings work on the side and the way that they pivot, man, you can get on a ginormous tree, a big tree with an old man. So if you were a big boy trying to get on a big tree, this thing be phenomenal. But just remember, if you're a big guy, you go buy one of these stands, a small tree is not going to be an option for you. So while we've got this up here, this is the one option for a rail. This is the other option. So you can flip it up like this. If you're a gun hunter, have an option for a shooting rail. That's really cool. I think that's one of the first climbers that we've done actually that has a raised shooting rail. So if you were, if you're going to be using a rifle out of a climber and it was a bigger tree, this thing would be pretty awesome. Or if you wanted to turn it around and face it down, so you just had a little bit of sense of security, it's there, but it's not in your way for a bow hunter, you have this option, so you can turn it around. Or you have the option here that I have on there right now, which is just the straight bar that goes across the front. Gives you something to kind of rest on as you go up the tree. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get in it now. One of the things, guys, that I don't know if y'all have noticed or not, whenever you see me climbing in a climber, there's actually been a couple of guys beat me up on the foot straps and stuff for stands. The stands that I use primarily are those Lone Wolves, and the Lone Wolves don't have feet straps. You kind of grab the stand like that along the outside, and that's how you you climb with it. So that's kind of what I usually do. But like I said, this old man's got two straps, one on each side, and they come pre on the stand. You just have to adjust them when you get them. So let's talk about the stand. Again, I'm going to go to about the knee high. Let me angle this y'all's way just a little bit. So I'm going to come down about the knee high. This tree is just a little small for this stand, I'm not going to lie to you. So if I was hunting and this is the tree I wanted to be in, I'm going to get in it anyway. So let's talk about it. Number one, sense of security. Absolutely great. I like these like rope style seats. I'm a pretty big fan of those. They're comfy. They let air through, so when it's warm outside, it's really nice. When it's cold outside, it's not as nice. But talk about the stand, sense of security. I think it's great. It feels like it's a real well-built stand. Obviously, it is because it's heavy. Noise. You've got your pull pins. They're gonna make some noise. The cool thing is having those little twisters on there. I was showing you a while ago with these pull pins. If you twist them all the way up, it keeps those pull pins from moving. So really the only time you're gonna make a bunch of noise with them is when you're putting them on a tree. So if you're a small guy, small frame guy, small tree, this stand's gonna be great. If you're a big guy, you're gonna need a bigger tree. Otherwise, you're gonna be breaking your lower ribs here while you're sitting. But just overall comfort of the stand is great. It's fine. It doesn't feel, you know, some of the stands that we've done, I'll talk about, they feel cheap, so on and so forth. This stand, you don't get that cheap feeling. It's most certainly a solid stand. So In order to climb with it, we kind of talk about it in each one of our videos. I've got this straight bar on here. You can sit down on the bar for the purpose of the video. I'll go ahead and use these foot straps, but you can sit on the bar here, kind of take a load off, use that foot strap, bring it up, 90-degree angle on your legs, holding on to your top stand, bring your top back up to right underneath your buttocks, sit back down, do the same thing. To go down the tree, you do the same, but just in reverse. You kind of pick up your toes, pushing in with your ankles, it takes it off of the tree. You go down, come down about that same distance to where when you sit down, you're at a 90, unhook, let that go all the way down, kind of stand out of it. Same thing, getting out, hold the top, step straight out of it. So, let's talk about some pluses and minuses. We always start with the minuses. We like to end on a positive note, so we all got smiles, right? So, all right, guys. So, the first minus about this stand is what it is, 28 pounds for a bow hunting stand. Boy, that is heavy. Ain't no way around it. Doesn't matter how great of a stand it is, it's a heavy stand. I don't know if they still make the aluminum version. They used to make an aluminum version for them that, if I remember right, was like 10 pounds lighter. I mean, it was a... I carried the steel version, Richard carried the aluminum version, and I liked his a whole lot better than mine. Check that out. Maybe you can find an aluminum version that doesn't weigh as much, and it might have to be an older stand, but these things come up on the market, you know, pretty often. First negative is the weight. The second negative is the pull pins. Now, with the pull pins on this stand, they did come back with that little wing nut you can tighten down to silence them once you're in the tree. But that doesn't fix the fact of how much noise they make walking in and how much noise they make when you're putting them on the stand itself. Third negative, small tree, normal size, or big guy. You're not getting on a small tree with this. Can it secure to the tree? Absolutely. It's secured to this tree. There's not a problem. It doesn't seem wobbly. It's great. But if you're a bigger dude, right here, those lower ribs, it tears them up, because you're basically, what you have to do is find a tree that's wider than you. Because if it's narrower than you are, where it hooks back here, that's going to dig in as it comes back across, because those outsides kind of lay in. So remember that. If you're hunting an area that's got trees and you're looking at those trees and you're like, I need to find one, you can walk up and do this to the tree, you don't want one of these stands. If you can walk up and do this to a tree, go get an old man, because it's going to be great on a big tree. So that's really about the only negatives I have about pull pins, weight, and the availability to get on a small tree. Talk about the pluses. Those cables feel like you could pull a truck with them. Like, if you're somebody that's kind of worried because of cable feel or chain feel or whatever, these cables are like that thick. They're ridiculous. So that's awesome. I love the fact that it comes completely assembled. You could literally order this stand. You don't have to run any, you know, fabric. You don't have to put a seat on. You don't have to do anything. You could literally order this stand, take it out of the box, put it on your back, and go climb a tree with it. That's phenomenal. Appreciate that. That's awesome. And then again, the next thing is the biggest thing out of all, the availability to fold that stand flat. So it's heavy, there's no doubt, but that stand being heavy is going to carry better than a lot of its competitors that are lighter, because it has the availability to fold flat. And just having that availability to fold flat by itself puts all that extra weight up top, so it doesn't feel like it's as much weight. When you reach over and grab that stand like this and you pick it up, oh no, it's heavy. But once you get it on your back and get it secured, it's not that bad. So, guys, that's the old man. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a pretty solid stand. Like I said, oh, I forgot. One other plus is this guy. So if you're a rifle hunter, I guess you'd be sitting here about like this. Perfect shooting realm. So the fact that it comes with this is just gonna add some weight, but the fact that it comes with this, if you were hunting some open timber and it was the rut and you was worried about that buck come running across, and how good of a shot are you at 75 yards that are running deer, I promise you, you're a whole lot better with a gun rest. So anyways, guys, that's all I got today. This is an old man stand. If you like it, go check them out. If you don't, check out the other like 20 stands on the page. Find you one that fits your needs that you need. I appreciate you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. As I said before, we're kind of slowing down. We're getting our hands on some stands. I will let y'all know now, time buck video will be out the first week of January, just as a little teaser. And then we're going to the ATA. So the first week of January, we'll drop that video. I'm going to be in Alabama hunting some public land there, and then we're going to the ATA show. So probably won't be another stand for a couple of weeks, but we've got a whole bunch of hunts lined up that y'all can get to see. Good hunting, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell. We'll see you later in the week.